Well, I'm still at it. I got my rock guard sprayed on the bottom. That's a little tricky putting on. You have to kind of hold the spray can way down here, or else it kind of goes all goopy. But anyway, I just brought the tape up about 1/8 of an inch, and I didn't want splatter here, so I taped it. Didn't really want to tape it because I don't like wasting tape, but I guess that's what the tape is for. So I used it. And so anyway, it's rock guarded. Let that dry. I'm not sure. Do I prime the rock guard before I paint? So anyway, here there was a little dig, like a dent. So I sanded it and I put yellow spot putty on it and squared it off. And a little while ago here when I was sanding, cleaning, or not sanding, but cleaning this, because I cleaned everything up, there was 2 bad scratches right here. So I grabbed the DA and went to feather edge these 2 scratches out. And anyway, it didn't. It feather edged the clear coat back on the yellow. And then as soon as it touched the yellow, it just lifted that yellow right off the primer with a rough edge, all jagged. So I just cleaned it up a little bit and I mixed up more yellow spot putty and just filled it in and then squared it off and primed it. But this yellow paint is hard to feather. It's not really like most paint jobs. But anyway, and in here I got my seam seal on, and I think I should probably, like tomorrow, I'll prime it, I think. Same as that rock guard, I should probably prime with my little spray bomb. But I've been cleaning. I cleaned all in around the hinges. I'm going to paint from here down, same as from roughly here down. And from here down. And back here, this was all surface rust, and it didn't go down underneath there. It just stopped, and it was kind of clear metal, or like clear right there. So anyway, I chipped all the rust out and I sanded it, and then I grabbed the die grinder and I ground it out, all the rust in the craters, and then very carefully taped this up and then body filled everything and squared it up in several coats of primer. And I'm just going to spot paint this and then buff the paint here. Like I'll sand this back here, the 2500, and paint this, and then buff my paint job into the other paint job. But this side didn't take as much seam sealer, because I had this all but welded in. But the other side I didn't have to weld it in, so I just fixed my spots. But the mats cover everything anyway. But I cleaned here. And another story, the hinge pin was wore out, and the top hinge anyway, I cleaned, and I'm going to be painting from here down. I'm not going to paint up here, just here down. The top hinge on the passenger side of that car goes on the bottom of the driver's side. So the top hinge over there fits down here on the bottom, and the bottom hinge there fits on the top here. And the passenger door on that, the driver's door pin was wore out, but the passenger door wasn't wore out at all. So that gave me a perfectly good, nice, tight hinge, no play. And here there was, somebody took this off, and there's a whole bunch of scratches here and two dents right here. So I scuffed it down and put yellow spot putty over it. I didn't even try to feather edge the chips. I just sanded it with 220 and then cleaned it and then put a coat of spot putty on it and sanded it off. And so I'm ready. I gotta still sand the car with 400. and then mask things up, and then I'm ready to start painting. That'll be tomorrow. But I've been out here fooling around, cleaning, and one step at a time all day. And this thing, it's not stuck anymore. The penetrating oil in the piston loosened, but it has a rotary valve, which stainless steel, that runs in the aluminum. And I don't want to turn the motor over until I take the side cover off and make sure, take the rotary valve out so that there's no dirt there scratching around, because if there's any corrosion or dirt there, I'll ruin the engine block. So but anyway, I put a wrench on it on the flywheel, and it went just a little creak like that, and it moved 1/8 of an inch real easy. So I moved it back 1/8 of an inch, so it's not stuck. But I didn't turn the motor over, I just moved it 1/8 of an inch. Now my next project will be taking the side cover off, and as I said, that rotary valve out, and then I can take the cylinder off and check to see if the crank's any good. And yesterday, Chad and Jolene were out, and he told me about a couple remains of a Can-Am down the way. So like a Hornet to Honey, I had to go buy them. I didn't pay too much for them, but it would have been better if they were given to me. But I'm not really selfish. But anyway, the gas, they've been sitting outdoors since brand new, same as like the other one. But the gas tanks are good. This is the shorter, the skinnier gas tank. Like this goes out wide. This they came on the motocross version, but they also came on 1974, and this is a 1974 125, and that's why it's got the skinny tank. And all the TNTs had this bigger tank, and the motocrossers had the skinny tank, but the 74s had the skinny tank. And you can tell because on the 74 it has a bracket that like this that bolts the motor in, plus it has a rod for the brake. And on the 75 and 76s, they had a cable, and the swing arm held the brake assembly, and it has triangles here that hold the motor. But anyway, gives me a few parts. Cat was here a few minutes ago, but I didn't jump right up, so he took off. So anyway, it rained yesterday. Well, I'll get back to you tomorrow.